In 1974, there was a movie made called The Towering Inferno. It was made by 20th Century Fox. It was probably one of the most exciting fire movies I had seen in a long time. If you ever get a chance to watch it, it's pretty exciting. And it deals with the San Francisco Fire Department and a building that supposedly was absolutely fireproof and the safest building anybody could ever build. Well, an electrical fire started, and when it did, it took off and went up through the walls. And this brought in the San Francisco Fire Department. And it was, when they got all done, the building was pretty much torched. They put it out by blowing up a large water tank on the top floor, letting the water run all down through the building. Like I said, it was a pretty exciting movie. I actually got to see the set where they did most of the firefighting, and it was very interesting. The main star was a guy named Steve McQueen, who some of you remember. And he was his name was Chief O'Houlihan, and O'Houlihan was the battalion chief that was first on scene that took over the incident command. The architect of the building was Paul Newman, and he and Chief O'Houlihan had talked together about the building before it ever caught on fire, and he pretty much convinced him that that was going to be a pretty safe building and nothing would ever happen to it. Surprise, surprise. And I had a friend of mine who was the fire chief of 20th Century Fox at the time, and after the movie was made, he called me up and he said, "Would you like some helmets for your museum?" So I said, yes, I would, and so he gave me three. This is not one of the ones that was in the movie, but I wanted to show this because this is what San Francisco wears when they're on their truck companies. And basically what this means is red over left, white over right, and red and white. And then of course this was truck 11. I had truck 16. I'll tell you about the helmet. I loaned it to the fire marshal at the time because he was an ex-lieutenant from the San Francisco Fire Department, and he wanted to put it in his office. That was Phil Favreau, one of our better fire marshals. And Phil took it, and I said, yeah, I'll loan it to you for a while. Well, unfortunately, the fire marshal's office burned down in Sacramento, and I lost the helmet. And he promised me he'd always get me another one, but he never did. If you're out there watching, Phil, I'm still waiting for that helmet if you ever get a chance. But this is one that we actually sold to San Francisco, and they tried it out and they liked it. This was actually our first TL. This one was the battalion chief, and it's kind of an interesting helmet. It's made by Carnes, and Carnes made quite a few of these. And if you notice, instead of having the normal 8 ribs, this one has 12 ribs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And what that was made for was mostly chief officers, and a lot of fire departments had that particular leather helmet strictly for command personnel. This guy was one of the people that was in the movie. For some reason they took off SFFD on the bottom. I got to get some artist to put that back on someday. And they kind of fixed it up so it looked like it had been around for a while, and it had been. What happened about the time that these helmets were received by 20th Century Fox is they were changing to a new NFPA style helmet, so there was a whole bunch of these available. This is actually the old Cairns 5A. Very, very comfortable helmet. Sits low on the head like our leather helmet did, and was very popular throughout the United States for many, many, many years. These are what we used in the movie. This was another one from an engine company. It was Engine 17, and it was also a Cairns 5A, a little bit smaller. Cairns always had a really cool thing. They had this thing up in the top of it that would actually suck onto your head and held the helmet on your head pretty good. And it's a little tight for me, but if it fit the guy that was wearing it, this happened to be a size 7. I wear a size 7 3/8. But this helmet was used in the movie also. There were a lot of other leather helmets, and somehow they got away. Different people took them and whatnot, but we got 3 of them. Like I said, we lost one. These 2 are still in the museum. This is in the museum as one of our helmets was actually worn by San Francisco Fire Department. It's a great movie. If you ever get a chance to see it, It's called The Towering Inferno, 1974, 20th Century Fox. You folks have a good day.